AGROTAIN, Martin, we talked about this a little bit on Monday night, and maybe if you can give us a call back, Maynard, we'd sure like to get to your question here. No-till was brought up, and I don't know we got the question answered from the viewer at that particular time, but let's talk a little bit about that.
Well, that's actually one of the key markets that was identified back when AGROTAIN was brought to the market in 1997 as a key focus point for using our technology is no-till because of high residue. Not being able to incorporate that nitrogen underground was a huge loss avenue for volatility. And so AGROTAIN resolved a major loss problem in no-till farming. And so it really enhanced no-till farming.
Any comments there? If you're the director of agronomy, and
right. So no-till is a lot like the grass seed situation. You have all that residue on the soil surface. It prevents that urea granule from making it all the way to the soil surface. It causes volatilization losses to be really quite high. And so I look at AGROTAIN as one of the technologies like Roundup that's really helped no-till become widely adopted. It would be much harder if we didn't have that technology.
And it goes. We want to make sure we cover and give you your proper congratulations that AGROTAIN has been noted and winning awards as far as no-till. Share that with us.
Yeah, so we've won some no-till awards in the past.
Yeah, there was the product of the year for the No-Till Farmer magazine or conference for like 3 or 4 years in a row because it is in the fertilizer category. And so it certainly fits that. And no-till farming is driven heavily with trying to manage residue, manage your fertility, and so it was a key factor in helping farmers do no-till.
Absolutely, and again, when you get those kinds of that kind of recognition from outside circles, it just goes to show the products we're talking about tonight recognized by people all around the industry.
Right.
Very good. All right, Maynard. I think they said Maynard called back, and I'm glad you did. Are you there now, Maynard?
Yes, I am.
All right. You're a man. I'd like that Wisconsin stick-to-itiveness.
Okay.
How can we help you?
We broadcast the fertilizer on small grains and on corn. We've got a horizontal mixer. We put our urea in the mixer first. We dump in our stabilizer and blend it. Then we put in our potash and our DAP. Now, are we wasting our stabilizer by putting the potash and the DAP in the same mixture with the urea?
That's a good question, Maynard, and absolutely you are not. That is actually the absolute recommended methodology. Would tell a farmer or a dealer to blend his fertilizer, urea with AGROTAIN followed by his other 2 components. So no, it does not transfer over to the other products and it is not lost out of the equation, so you're not wasting your money at all. It's a very good question.
Would there be some place Maynard would go to have someone just kind of walk through him with the different ratios, if you will, a dealer that in his area?
Sure. Well, our call since he's in Wisconsin and he's in my area, obviously you can go right to the website and find me and call me up, and I'll be glad to work through his mixing process and make sure it's doing what he wants it to do. So.
And there are people like you all around the country representing other regions. You're regional director, so that's what he would expect. Good, that's good. Well, you have a friend here in Martin here, Maynard, so you might take him up on that. Let's go to Kansas. Ralph has called us from the Sunflower State. Ralph, welcome.
Yes, what I was wondering is this AGROTAIN, is it a liquid or is it a dry form of material, and how do you put it on urea?
Very good.
Yeah, so we actually have 2 formulations. We have a liquid formulation and a dry formulation. Both are able to be mixed with urea. And so it's just like the previous caller described. You put your urea in the blender, and then you put in the AGROTAIN, and you'll be surprised at how quickly the 2 come together, and it coats very well and doesn't make the urea any stickier. And it's a really good product and easy to use.
Easy to use, environmentally friendly too. We haven't talked about that, but just a real quick mention there as well.
Anytime you save nitrogen, you're doing something good for the environment. That's for sure.
I think we have time for one more call before we have to say goodnight. At least one more. Let's get to Richard from Pennsylvania. Richard, thanks for holding on, and you're up next.
Hello, Mark.
Hi, Richard.
I have a question on the SuperU, and my question being, putting it on pre-plant. Would it be better to incorporate or just broadcast to get it out to that July time frame when the corn really needs it?
Yeah, that's a great question. We haven't talked about SuperU enough tonight, so I'm glad Richard called in with that question. SuperU has both the urease inhibitor of AGROTAIN nitrogen stabilizer, and it also has that nitrification inhibitor that we were talking about that reduces the possibility for nitrate leaching and denitrification losses. And so that product is really designed to be put directly on the surface, and it'll prevent both kinds of losses, so it's a great product to use in that way.
And speaking of product, that's our last call, by the way. Start to wrap things up. Nitamin, we spoke with Brad earlier, but maybe just a quick review for viewers. A great product as well.
Right.
We hadn't talked a lot about.
So Nitamin is one of the Georgia Pacific products that came from the Georgia Pacific acquisition. It's a foliar nitrogen fertilizer source, and a lot of times farmers put on just an extra little shot of nitrogen as they're putting on a fungicide, and so this is where Nitamin fertilizer comes into play. And a lot of farmers are starting to adapt that process as they adopt the fungicide applications.
Very good. Well, that time for us to say goodnight. We want to give each of you a chance for some closing thoughts. We've had great 2 nights together here, Monday night and tonight again. Martin, Case, good to see you. Your closing thoughts for our viewers here this evening.
Well, the topic of the week seems to have all revolved around weather and how to mitigate or manage what weather is doing to our nitrogen, to our crop. You know, it's either too wet, too dry, you know, and so the great thing about our product line of AGROTAIN, AGROTAIN Plus, and SuperU is that we can help the farmers with some good agronomy, learn how to take those and fit them into their operations and make the most of our inhibitor technology to get the most yield back. And
what if they haven't used it before? What would you say to that producer watching tonight and they've never used it, cotton, forage, or whatever?
Well, I would certainly urge, if it was my own farm, I would certainly go try some, and it's readily available at any chemical dealer, fertilizer dealer that they work with typically can get a hold of our technology, and I would certainly get out there and give it a try on my farm if it was me.
Very good. Well, and we appreciate that. Good to see you again. Greg Schwab, Director of Agronomy, your closing thoughts.
Yeah, so I would like to say to everybody in Nashville to stop by the booth. We have some great giveaways, including enough AGROTAIN for 100 acres. And so all they have to do is sign up for that drawing. We're giving that away, I think, every day.
Every day.
And stop by and see us. If you're not in Nashville, use the website, look up your local AGROTAIN rep, give them a call if you have questions, and check out the product.
And finally, we have less than a minute here, but always something in the pipeline here, and you would have some things maybe to share with those producers coming by there or elsewhere of new products that are on the way.
Yeah, we're always trying to work on the next thing, so yeah, there are new products coming.
Very good. Great to have you gentlemen here again. It's been a pleasure these 2 nights, 2 series. We've covered a lot of ground tonight and hope it's been helpful to our viewers out there. So thank you both very much.
No problem. It's great to
Appreciate
be here.
that. All right. That'll do it for our this edition, RFD-TV Live here on this Thursday evening. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope that you will use the website here that we've given to you and use it often. That's agrotain.com. And as Greg mentioned, if you'd like more information, certainly just put in your zip code, that easy, and you'll find a representative near you. Have a great planting season, a profitable one as well. And I'm Mark Oppel. Good night from RFD-TV, Rural America's most important network.